What's up, everybody? My name is Coach Paris, and today I'm going to show you how to master the Allen Iverson crossover in just 5 minutes per day. This move will allow you to become unguardable and have your man on skates. That means sliding across the floor. Allen Iverson has continuously used this move throughout his career and has become one of the top NBA players of all time when doing this move.
Maybe I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for Dean Barry teaching me the crossover. A walk-on. Man didn't even have his name on the back of his jersey. But at practice, he used to hit me with it so much that I just put my pride aside and said, okay, you got to teach me that move. And I stayed after practice with him every day to learn that move. And all these years later, Allen Iverson is known for the crossover.
Before we get into talking about the drills that can help you become better at this move, let's talk about a few points that you should know when making this crossover. So some of the key points that you should keep in mind when making this move is, number one, you need to have a gather dribble. And when you do a gather dribble, your gather dribble can be either a crossover, it can be a behind the back, it can be an in and out, it can be a through the legs. The purpose of a gather dribble is to get the defense going to one side or the other. So if you're bringing the ball up the court and you're dribbling, you can initially just start getting into these gather dribbles. And what you're looking for is for the defense to shift and you want to pull them in the direction that you want them to go. That's number one. Number two, after you determine what gather dribble you're going to use, whether if it's a crossover, whether if it's through the leg, or whether if it's behind the back, you want to make sure that you take a step and make that ankle breaking move, right? But before you do that, you have to see where the defense is going and bait them into the direction you want them to go. You want to see how stable their footwork is. You want to see if they're a great defender. You want to see if they're going to bite on these gather dribbles. And if you do, you know you have them at your mercy to get into that ankle breaking move or the Allen Iverson crossover. So if I do my gather dribbles and I notice that I pull the defender this way, I automatically change the momentum of that defender to come where I want it to go, right? And then that's when I'm gonna take my step. My step is a fake step, right? Going into the direction. So if I'm going to the right side, I wanna make sure I use my shoulder, my head, and my eyes to make the defender think that I'm going in that direction. And then at that time, I need to identify if I have the drive or if I should cross back over, right? So this is the defender. Imagine that they're coming across my body. I see that. If I'm shoulder to shoulder with that defender and I have the lane, I should take it. I don't want to cross back into the defense. You have to notice that. So now when you do your gather dribble and you notice the defender goes in the direction where you want them to go and they bite, that's an opportunity to take that step and get right into your Allen Iverson crossover. When you make your crossover, you don't want the ball too wide and you don't want to have your hand underneath the ball because then you can get called for a travel and this may take longer for you to get into your crossover and it's not as effective, all right? So what you want to do is make sure you keep your crossover close and tight and immediately put the ball to the floor with a hard pound and get straight into what you want to do, all right? So let's bring it back from the top, just to recap. First, you want to perform a gather dribble to get the defense moving to one side or the other, and that can be through a crossover, through the legs, behind the back. And then once you see daylight and you see the defender go in the direction that you want them to go, then that's your opportunity to get into that step or that ankle breaking move, which we're calling the Allen Iverson crossover. So right now, let's pretend we're gonna get into that Allen Iverson crossover. I'm gathering, I take the step, and then I cross. When I made the crossover, you notice I'm using my shoulder, I'm using my eyes and my head at the same time while I'm crossing over. Be mindful not to carry the ball, not to have it too high, all right? But at the same time, identifying that you have it. This takes skill because you have to be able to see if the defense is coming to make the move. A lot of players are not aware and they think that they should just do the crossover without identifying the defense, all right? Be aware of the defense. After I make my move, after I make my step cross or my Allen Iverson move, now I have an opportunity to create offense. Why am I making this move? To become unguardable and to put my defense on skates. So now I have an opportunity to what? Either shoot, I can drive, I can pass, or maybe I can just come off a ball screen if my big man comes up and try to set a screen on me. Either way, you have to make this move and read what you have after that, all right? So let's bring it from the top. So now I'm gathering, I'm getting into my gather dribbles, I'm going through the legs, I'm crossing over, I'm going behind the back. And once I see an opportunity, when the defense goes, I get into my Allen Iverson move, I step, I make a hard move, I'm low to the ground. I don't want to have my hand underneath the ball. We're just doing a drill right now, so that's why I'm holding it. But in live action, I want to make sure my hand is on the side of the ball or on top. All right, it's key. Anything below the midline of the basketball can give the referee a reason to call that a carry or a travel. All right. So again, I'm gathering. I pull the defense in the direction where I want to go. I make my crossover. I can pull up. I can get into a shot off the dribble. I can look for my teammates if the defense comes in. I can get into a drive all the way to the basket. And I have options here to create offense. And now we're just going to talk about a few drills that's going to help you master the Allen Iverson crossover in just 5 minutes per day. So for the first drill, we're going to isolate the right side and the left side. So when we work on the right side, I want you to start off in the triple threat position. All right. For the right side, I want you to focus on taking the dribble with your left hand first, and then you're going to do a gather dribble, small crossover to your right hand. All right. We talked about the gather dribbles earlier. You go get into a gather dribble, and then you get into that hard step, and then you're going to cross right back to that left hand, and then you're going to repeat. So now let's get into a few repetitions. We're going to start off with the left hand dribble. First, we're going to get into a small gather dribble, and then we're going to initiate the Allen Iverson crossover move. Here, here. So I did 3 on the right side. You can do 10 on the right side, and then you can also do 10 on the left side, all right? So if I was working the left side, it would be the opposite. So now I'm taking that initial dribble with my right hand, and I'm doing that gather dribble to my left side, getting into that Allen Iverson crossover. So now I'm here in that triple threat again. Dribble, gather, dribble, cross. One dribble, gather, dribble, cross. One dribble, gather, dribble, cross. I only did 3, but again, you can do 10 repetitions on the left side as well. That's the first drill that you can work on to improve the Allen Iverson crossover. Next drill, instead of isolating it, now we're gonna alternate doing left and right side continuously. All right, same principles, same concept. We're working on selling the move with our head, our eyes, our shoulder. And not only that, making sure we're getting that step out there to make the defender think that we're going to attack, and then we're changing directions. Stay low, try to keep your shoulder at the chair level if you can, and make these moves hard. All right, let's get into some reps. So let's start off. Here, I'm low. I'm still having my hand out for the protection. My eyes are up. I'm still looking at what I have. I see my teammates. I see the offense. At the same time, I'm seeing the defense shift left and right. And at the same time, I'm able to see if I need to take the drive, I need to take the opportunity, the daylight that I see to get into a shot, or I may even see that I created space from the move, and now I have an open man that I can hit out of the pass and create offense that way. So another drill that you can work on besides the crossover gather dribble is getting into a gather dribble through the legs, right? So that would look like this if you're doing the drill. We would still start off with the right hand, first dribble, and I want you to get into that gather dribble through the legs and then get into the Allen Iverson crossover. So I'm here, we're gonna go one dribble, gather dribble, Allen Iverson. And then you're gonna continuously do that. Let's get into some reps. So I'm here, one dribble, gather, dribble, cross. 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 You can do 10 repetitions on the left side, and then you can also do 10 repetitions on the right side. So if I was working on the right side, I would just do first dribble with the left hand, and I would do the same thing, getting into that gather dribble, making that defense move or pull in the direction where I want them to go. All right, let's get into a few. So now I'm here, gather, dribble, cross. Back, gather, dribble, cross. Here, gather, dribble, cross. And that's another way that you can work on the Allen Iverson move and get better. So now we talked about the gather dribble. We show you how to utilize it with the crossover. We show you how to utilize it through the legs. Now we're gonna give you options. This is where you become creative. You can utilize it and use more dribbles when you get into your gather dribble. So you can play around with it, right? You can start a little bit farther away from the chair if you want to, and just come up, just start dribbling the ball. Feel comfortable with dribbling the ball. You're getting used to seeing your teammates, And then as you approach, start making variation moves, right? Start making various moves. You can get into a through the legs behind the back, Allen Iverson crossover, right? You can start getting into it in and out behind the back, crossover. You can get into a lot of variations. And another one you can get into, I can go through the legs double time, right? Through the legs double time, and then get into an Allen Iverson crossover. So in this next drill, I want you to get creative and utilize variations of combo moves for your gather dribble. This is gonna allow you to become comfortable to make moves before you get into your Allen Iverson move. And if you're not comfortable with making different moves, that's okay. Get out of your comfort zone. If you lose the ball, that's all right. The goal is to be creative and get your body used to things that it's not used to doing. And I guarantee over time, you're gonna get better. So now for the next drill, we're gonna make the Allen Iverson move a little bit more game-like. So to do that, we're gonna do that on the move. So I'm gonna start a little bit back from the chair, get a few dribbles in as I'm attacking, make the Allen Iverson move, and try to get into either a shot or get into a layup situation. You don't necessarily have to get into a shot or a layup. What you can do is you can stop after making the move and then do a retreat dribble and then continue that and get more reps in that way. Either way, you have options. So one thing to keep in mind when you're making an Allen Iverson move on the go, you have to be mindful that your gather dribble has to be a little bit more timed and quicker. So I don't have that much time because I'm attacking, I'm dead on. I just want to utilize the move to ensure that I can create space to create offense, right? So now I come here, if I decide to go cross, I can get into my move that way. If I'm attacking and I go through the legs, I can get into my move that way and come back. Or even if I utilize the behind the back, I go behind the back and get into it. As you can see, I'm initiating my gather dribble to get right into it versus to when we did stationary, I'm here, I'm shifting the defense. Let's start with the simple crossover and attacking, all right? So now I'm here, gather dribble, Allen Iverson crossover, get into my shot. I can follow my shot, get my rebound, and I would take it all the way back and I would do the same thing. Get here, gather dribble, Allen Iverson, attack, hold my follow through, go back. You can do this 10 times on the right side and then also do 10 times on the left side. So when you're making your Allen Iverson move and you make that step, that first step. So after I make this step and I cross over, I want to make sure that I'm following up with that second step to get my shoulder at the defender's hip and attack towards the basket for a layup, all right? Let's see what that looks like, just slow speed right now. So I'm attacking with my right hand. I do my gather, I'm here, and I'm attacking all the way, ripping to the ear, finishing high off the glass. Let's go a little harder on that one. You can do this drill 10 times on the right side. You can do this drill also 10 times on the left side. Let's do one on the left side so you can see what that looks like. I'm starting off dribbling with the ball in my left hand. Again, slow speed, slow pace so you can see what it looks like. I get into my gather. I'm stepping, I'm crossing over. Second step here, I'm attacking. Ball ripped to the ear, finishing high off the glass. Let's do one. I'm here, starting off with the left hand, getting into a gather. Here, cross, attack, ripping to the ear, finishing high off the glass. So now, if you're at home, you don't have a basket to utilize the finishing move out of the Allen Iverson crossover, that's okay. Let me show you what you can do if you have a small amount of space in your basement, backyard, or wherever you are. So all you really need is about where I'm at now to initiate. And then all we're gonna do is go to the free throw line. After we make the move here at the defender, you're gonna do a retreat dribble from here and get back into your repetitions and continue to do them, all right? And we're gonna alternate from side to side. So let's start off with the right side first. I'm gonna go slow speed just so you can see what it looks like. I'm attacking here, I'm in triple threat. I attack, we're getting into our gather dribble again. Here, Allen Iverson crossover. I'm low, shoulder at the defender's hip. I'll make that crossover attack. I want you to get to the free throw line and plant. You're planting with your left foot. Once you plant, you get into a retreat dribble all the way back where you came from. And then now you're gonna attack with your left hand. Now I attack with my left hand, get into the gather, Allen Iverson crossover, attack. Now I'm planting with my right foot on the free throw line or wherever your space is at your home or wherever you are, and get into a retreat dribble and then pushing it right back to the right hand. And I'm gonna continuously do that. Let's get into a couple. So now I'm here, right hand, cross here, plant, eyes up, see your teammates, switch back to the left, attack, we go get into that gather, attack, plant, eyes up, see your teammates, and then you would do 10 repetitions each side to help you master the Allen Iverson crossover move. So now what I want you to do is take all the drills that I just gave you and execute these every day. It's going to take 5 minutes per day. It's okay to take a day off, but if you want to see improvement, then make sure that you're doing this drill every day. It only takes 5 minutes. And if you want to get better, this is what it takes. So I just showed you how to effectively master the Allen Iverson crossover in just 5 minutes per day. So now it's up to you to go out there and put the work in. I'm going to be providing many more videos and moves just like the one that we talked about today. If you haven't already, please hit the button below so that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and be notified on our next video.